Okay, hi everybody. It's Grace and I from the Agile 20 Reflect Festival. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I know we are. This is Valentine's weekend, and yeah. So as the T-shirt says, I love you, and
Love you too. We
this
love
is my
you.
this is my geek T-shirt. So it's got it's I don't know if you can see that. I've vanished. The microphone's in the way. Princess Leia. There we go. Okay. So the festival's happening. We've got lots of events happened. We're kind of halfway through. It's Valentine's Day, and we thought we would talk about the people we love. Who do we love, Grace?
We love everybody, from the volunteers to the trustees to the ambassadors to the advisors to the patrons. We love you all. Everybody to the hosts and the attendees. We love everybody.
Okay, so a little known feature of the website. You'll all be used to using the calendar and having a look at where the events are. So this is the if you go into supporters and if you go into the organization, and Carl and Ash did a lovely job of this, and then you can actually come into these, and these are the people that made the festival happen. So first thing I would say is if we kind of click on here, we'll have all the oops, we have the patrons. So big thank out to the patrons of the festival. So Ari, Johanna, Alistair, Esther, Lisa, Sally, April, Simon, Peter, Ellen, Roman, Ashat, and Gabrielle. So, what did you think of the patrons? So, you're someone new to Agile, so you didn't know these people before. So, when I said we'd get some patrons, you were probably thinking, it'd be interesting to know who they are. So yeah. Tell me what you think about the patrons.
Wonderful people, really great minds. They're doing this for free. Everybody's doing this for free, And at the patrons event the other day with staff, it was really wonderful listening to them. Thank you all for availing us your time, your resources, your efforts, everything, your dedication. We love you.
Yeah. The other people I'd like to thank are the donors. So we set a target of 5,000, and we're tracking at 2,000 at the moment, which I think is great. And on here, Shelby, one of the trustees, is and Stephanie and Mirren here. So yeah, we were at 30 donors. Amazing, and everyone can go on the website and look at that. We wanted to make sure all our funding was up front. So where we've got supporting organisations, if they haven't donated in here, then there's no money channeling in the background or anything. So this is, I think, the fact that we've done this on 2,000 as well has also shown to the to like things like the website, which Ash has kind of provided, and all the hours that the volunteers have put in. It's been really passionate. What did you think? I remember back at the trustee meetings at the beginning, I said I don't think we need that much money to do this, and there was a bit of discussion. Like,
uh, the donated monies that really helped us reach those unreached areas. People now have the opportunity to watch the festival for free. So it's thank you so much, donors. We appreciate it. Love you. The world loves you. Thank you.
yeah, and I think even people have been donating Zoom licenses and everything else, and
Yeah, yeah.
they're
Thank you.
blown away by all of that. And yeah, and we've used some of this for marketing and things, and contacting people and bringing new people into
Yeah.
just into the festival. Which I'm actually been surprised at the amount of new people that aren't Agilists that came to the festival. Um, just amazing just to see just the power of the pool of this.
It's really amazing.
Okay, so I'm going to. I got that Zoom thing where it always puts the bar where you don't want it. There it is. Okay, so let's look at who else we would love to thank today. So again, if we go to supporters and organizations, oops. So I'd like to talk about the ambassadors. So this was really, you've set all of this up, Grace. Yeah,
No
I,
way.
I didn't have
I,
I didn't
I
have
had
time to
help.
do. I remember we had our first phone call on this ages ago. So the whole recruitment, the adverts, the interviewing, the pulling people together, and also the support, the servant leadership around about this group and helping them, have the confidence to do events and confidence to speak to people. So this is really your baby, Grace. So do you want to thank your
It's
baby?
our baby. It's the baby of the festival. Thank you to the ambassadors. It's been I must mention Kershaw, Simon, Simeon. They laid the foundation for the ambassador network. Thank you to Scott as well, who will always come around and ask for how he could help, and we get to work and collaborate together. Thank you all ambassadors from around the world. We have over 80 of you, and you've done tremendous, bringing people on board, organizations, individuals, hosts, and we've had a wonderful festival. We thank you so much.
Yeah, the thing I love about just going through this list is just the diversity inclusion here. It's just
Yeah,
I think someone at the opening ceremony, I think it was Toby, called it the United Nations of Agile. it kind of it kind of feels that way. Um,
yeah, it does.
and
It does.
yeah, and it's just been fascinating just to see all the good work everyone's put in. So yeah, we love you.
We
Um,
love you. We love you.
all right, where we're gonna go next? The advisors. Do you want to explain what the advisors were or what they did? Or maybe I'll explain. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to leverage off, although what we knew what we were doing was different than anything anyone's ever done. We wanted to leverage off kind of previous experiences. So Craig, who's a big conference speaker, done a lot of meetup work. Geetha, more on the coaching side. So again, we just didn't want this to be specifically just agile methods of that. So having coaches in. Richard, again, lots of experience of running meetups, and Juana, who again, even some of the experience of like doing non-English, really useful to have people with that
Yeah.
perspective. Yeah, I
Mm.
think Seth kind of came on as advisor, and then we've moved him over to trustee. So we'll talk about Seth in the trustee bit. Mohammed and Carl again came in as an advisor and then became a trustee. It seems maybe the advisory group's a little bit of a kind of a transition group where you come in. And we also had people like Carl Scotland and Jose
Yeah.
Casal and others there. So really really good bunch of people. They've been red teaming us as well. So if you don't know what a red team is, it's like you set up a subgroup that tries to break your organization, and comes from like I guess the U.S. military, where they'd have one team with blue badges and one team with red badges, and the red team's always the enemy. So yeah,
No.
it's been great having that, and it's like trustee meetings where it's like the red team aren't happy with this, then we need to kind of think, well,
Yes, we think.
is that a risk we
Yeah.
want to accept? Is that a risk we want to act on? So thanks, advisors.
Thank you.
And okay, and yeah, the volunteers are there, and
Yeah.
the delivery cycle team. So let's do a little bit of a discussion on that. So the volunteers were anyone who wanted to come along and help, and lots of people came along to help. And some, because we were kind of self-organizing, I think sometimes people weren't sure how to help, or some people helped in the beginning and then didn't help, kind of step back, and everyone's got their own situation in COVID. So and any help we could use there was great. We used the self-organizing model, so we created circles, and each of the circles we had a lead. That lead person could report back to the trustees, so it wasn't not really hierarchical. The circles pulse, so sometimes they'll be quite small and then they might grow and then they might shrink again. Sometimes they
Mm.
may activate for something. So the
Yeah.
proposal circle, for instance, was quite quiet for a while, then the proposals came and then it got very active, and now the proposals have stopped coming in. It's kind of gone quiet again, and I love that. It feels very organic. People
Yeah,
aren't
it
having
does.
meetings for the sake of it. People aren't doing things for the sake of it.
Yeah. And
Um,
I was also mentioned that ambassadors had their own volunteers in their countries. So it wasn't just the hub team. We had volunteers all across the globe. We had volunteers in almost every country that you have an ambassador. So thank you to you all. Thank you.
yeah, and yeah, finally, I really want to thank the trustees. So the trustees, there were some specific rules that we pulled together on trustees, and one of them is I do quite a lot of remote working. and remote coaching. And one of the things we realized was this is going to be high impact. We were going to be delivering in weekly sprints. So we probably all had to be available at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night GMT time. And I think that
Yeah.
might have restricted the range. So I know some Australian peoples wanted to become trustees, but we just knew that it isn't ethical to get them up at 3 in the morning, to go to a meeting, especially when it's a weekly meeting. So there was a little bit of work life balance there. If anyone knows a solution to that problem, I don't know, but I'm a great believer that teams need to
What's a
meet.
call?
Yeah, I'm a great believer that teams need to meet, and teams, need to be kind of I guess in a similar time zone. So I think it was harder for some of the trustees in the USA and Canada to come on board. Some of the trustees in South America might have had a language barrier as well. I guess it was our range is kind of like from India to over to the North America, but maybe we can solve that next time. But it worked
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Delivering in sprints, very intense, especially when the backlog was huge, and some things we just couldn't prioritize on because they all had to happen. So because we were setting everything up for the first time, and we're setting the website up for the first time, the forms up, all the policies. So that was fascinating. So this team of trustees have really worked hard, and they really and within that we've got very kind of open radical candor. We've got very flat structure. Anyone can challenge anything, and so trying to I don't know for you, but trying to collapse some of that just into like a weekly meet was hard. So thank heavens for WhatsApp. So I think yeah. It's quite often I'll get up in the morning and there's like 96 messages from the trustees, and I went to sleep at 2. So and that's not even an emergency day. That's just
Yeah.
how you doing? Love that. Oh my gosh. And we'll do fun stuff and pictures and everything else. So big thank you there. I'm going to run through the trustees quickly because I think I really, really do want to thank them for everything. So these are in no particular order. Brandon, who was the kind of the treasurer, the CFO, handled a lot of the financial stuff, but it was also but also very much a motivational character within the team. Kind of positioning for kind of retros, and he always brought Elmo to the meetings, which I loved. What did you think of Brandon? What's your thank you for Brandon?
Brandon is, if you're looking for an ethical guy, somebody that is really up there, Brandon is your guy. He's he's really been great with the finance team. He's straight to the point. He's just excellent at what he does. Always giving updates. Always, you know, his suggestions and his ideas have really helped the finance team. Getting to hitting the 2,000 mark has really been a testament of what Brandon is capable of doing and has done actually. So thank you to Brandon.
Okay, Carl Smith, the mighty Carl Smith.
Yeah.
So again, Carl came in as an advisor. I think he actually asked me if I'd like to write a chapter in a book he's writing, and I said possibly. But have you seen this festival? Would you like to help in the festival? And the next thing you know, Carl's coming in, pointing out that the website is needs work, and then next thing I know, he's doing all the looking after the technical side. Ash and him made a great partnership, and really with his 30 years of experience in this area, tapping into that knowledge is just amazing. And even the videos that he's made, the Agile World videos that him and Sabrina are making, just really exciting stuff.
Yes, he's tireless, creative. There's always I ask almost all the trustees if they ever sleep at all. Carl is just he's prompt at responding to complaints, to queries, to requests, website requests, and you can re-emphasize what he and Ash have really done for the website with the website. So it's great. Thank you, Paul.
So that brings us to Sabrina. Again, Sabrina's heading up the marketing. Looking at that, but also very much a motivator. I feel another like Brandon, another motivator. Always got a sense of humor. I think people engage with her very much. So they, yeah,
Yeah.
especially in the agile world and that they
Mm,
can, they can engage. Um, and really everything she does is heartfelt.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What, what do you think of Sabrina? What would you like to?
Ah,
What's your love
Sabrina,
letter to?
she would always ask, if you want to rant, just come to me, rant. I'm here. You can always beat me. Sabrina, she's really done wonderful with the marketing team. She and Anurag, I can say I can go on and on what marketing has done. I can go on and on what she and Anurag has and Katie. They're all part of the marketing team has really done. It's really been wonderful, and she's really beautiful, and she's got a good heart, a beautiful heart. Seriously, aside the job, she's there. Beautiful.
Yeah. And then Ash is an amazing guy. Ash is one of these people that I kind of knew on LinkedIn, and then when we were doing the festival, he said, "Would you like a hand?" And then he kind of started just doing things. So honestly, never had to kind of direct Ash at any point. Um, the other beautiful thing, and he did this I think 3 times, was yeah, there's a couple of things like you can do this, but I'm not going to be part of it anymore. And I went, okay, I love this. I love the ability that people are going to kind of offer to resign because they believe so strongly. And every time Ash said that, it was like, no, I think you're right. It's just it's just we're negotiating things around, and
Oh,
and then
Ash.
and then finally Ash said, well, I'll build your website for you. I'll support your website and I'll pay for your website,
Yes.
and which
Selfless.
is great.
Despite his personal tragedy, in the course of preparing for doing the website, Ash, I really cannot. I don't know how he does it, but he's really wonderful. You know, I remember when the website just came on board, we kept bombarding him with requests from every angle, but he still remained calm and focused on the job. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Ash. Thank you. Thank you. Seriously.
Speaking about calm and focused on the job, yeah, Anurag again. Someone just kind of like yourself just came out of the world and said, "Look, yeah, we've heard you're looking for trustees. We'd like to help." And Anurag has just been amazing. He's got the morning slot because he's in India. So usually
Mhm.
we wake up to the morning and Anurag's found something or fixed something or
Yes.
it's identified something, which is great. It just really extends kind of our support. He's also been amazing at marketing stuff or finding the things that we should be amplifying, and then he even stepped into the kind of the South Asia group when I think he was concerned that there
Yes.
weren't enough kind of activity happening, and he almost I guess he just kind of appointed himself the facilitator for that group, and then suddenly lots of events came out.
Yes.
It's
Anurag
amazing.
is, and he's in India, and our times for the trustee meeting is, not really convenient for him, but he's always at the meetings. He
Yeah, some
helped, he's really helped the ambassador network give the ambassadors visibility on all our social media platforms. It's
yeah,
really
no,
great collaborating with him. Like I said, he's such a beautiful person.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Grace, I mean, again, the same time that Anurag came on, you came on, and I kind of said, well, perhaps we should do something regional support level, and let's build an ambassador network. And I just said, look, why don't you go for think about it and come back? And you came back with some things. We brought it to the trustees. There was a bit of pushback, but then you continued. I love that way that you always go through the pushback. You also you're the heart of the ambassador network. So you talk to everyone, you care about everyone. And I know one of the ambassadors is just had a tragedy, and you were crying today about it. And that's that compassion, that love, that people person, that human to human connection. Is just amazing. You can have you've got a calm delivery mechanism there. You push back on me all the time. One of the things I really encourage in the trustees is to push back on me, because I think that makes for a healthy trustee group. Um, and yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Your contribution has been absolutely huge. I think the seeding of communities around the world is what you've been doing as well. So you've been you've
Yeah.
So here's a story. Here's something to think about Agile world. Grace is just new to Agile, and already she's seeding Agile communities. You don't need to be in this for 20 years. You don't need to be hierarchical. You don't need to look at what you're doing. Yeah, it's yeah. In growing this community, Grace has had a huge part, and I'm incredibly thankful. I won't ask you what you think about Grace.
I would just say it wasn't just me, it was everybody on the trustee board. And special kudos and thanks to Kaushik and Simon. Their ideas and direction laid the foundation for the ambassador network.
Yeah. Okay, now it brings us to Yusuf. Yusuf is the spiritual soul of
Break
the
it down.
festival trustees. I think he's the only one that sits on a yoga mat to talk. He is trying to flog Chinese medicine on me all the time, but I think we're resisting. Um, yeah, I don't remember when Yusuf started getting involved, but Yusuf's a very quiet person, and I think the first time I noticed Yusuf was he was greeting people and thanking them for coming into the volunteer group,
Yeah.
and nobody said that you should do that, or nobody said so. It was like a jobs to be done thing, and
Yeah.
and that's the other thing about Yusuf. Yusuf is looking at the system health, looking at areas where he thinks there needs to be a little bit of improvement, and he kind of goes in and helps there. So it's
Yeah.
almost like a tactical roving help. I've got a huge amount of trust and a huge amount of faith in you in Yusuf, and Yusuf always talks truth to power, which I love.
I call him chief strategist. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we
He
should make
is
it. If,
chief strategist.
if it
Wisdom,
wasn't for the
full of
fact,
wisdom.
yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that he hated the title, he'd love that. Yeah, we tried to get Yusuf on this thank you call. There was a logistic issue there, but also he doesn't feel comfortable being in front of camera, so
Yeah.
we couldn't get him into the opening ceremony either. But yeah, okay,
Always running away from the limelight.
yeah, huge humility. Okay, Shelby, wow. I've known Shelby for years, and
Ah,
yeah, we I think we met when she was doing a little bit of work in Edinburgh, and we kept in touch. And
wow.
Shelby's always one to watch. Um, Shelby's much more connected in organisations than I am. I think
Yeah.
she also won the kind of Young Agilist of the Year award or something at one point. So she's and very much into kind of agile and women and
Mm,
um, the Scrum Alliance and others. Um, so when we all got together and we looked at what we were doing, Shelby gravitated towards the organizational engagement
mm,
and also helping us set up the charity stuff and also the fun stuff. So
mm.
anything there's like a bit of fun, bit of energy. Shelby's there.
Yeah, she's
Such a lovely
there.
personality. What do you think of
Lovely.
Shelby? What do you think of Shelby?
Shelby is a lovely person. She's a lovely, beautiful, intelligent woman. You see the organization. She's really the, you know, you don't give that kind of a job to any kind of person. She's great at communicating with this kind of people, and she does it really well. She's really a cheerful person to talk to. You I call her the beat maker, Shelby. Her words are always in rhymes, and yeah, it's beautiful to hear her. She's just lovely and cheerful, beautiful
Yeah,
woman.
yeah. Interesting. Shelby and Sabrina are both Italian ancestry, so maybe
Yeah,
that's great communicators. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, Yeah, Dominique, again, someone who just answered the call to be a trustee. Very insightful person. Had a lot of experience when he came in. He could have been an advisor, as well as a trustee. Always challenging, but very wise. And I've worked out what Dominique's strategy is. He waits until we've all talked about a subject, and then he comes in with what we should do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
I, honestly, I've seen us almost come to a decision on something, and then Dominique speaks, and then we change our minds completely because it's the right thing to do. It's a
yeah.
beautiful, beautiful thing.
Beautiful. Yes.
Um,
Thank you, Dom.
yeah. So, what's your favorite things about Dominique?
Like you said, he's really quiet, but when he speaks, you have no choice but to go with his ideas. They're just always brilliant, and they save the day.
Yeah,
That's Dom.
Yeah, and the French events that he's been kind of working in the French language, which is great,
Yeah.
and really interesting events. Yeah, he's
Really.
almost been like an unofficial ambassador as well.
Yeah, that's really true.
Yeah.
That's true. Helped
Um,
one of the French ambassador a lot.
so
Yeah.
so Marina. So the thing I love about Marina is it's kind of like no nonsense. It goes from like idea, execution, done, next.
Oh, Marina. Oh, Marina. We've collaborated with Marina a lot. She's always helpful. Like we go back and forth when we're communicating. She took on the Eastern European ambassador, regional ambassador, and she helped rally them. I
Yes,
hear of
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
politics in the Eastern region, but she brought everyone on board. Everyone that was ready to come on board, they are on board. And thank you to her. She's really great. She's wonderful. She's handsome. Yes. Thank you, Marina. I
Yeah, no,
appreciate all the help. Seriously, I do.
yeah, and I just absolutely love the the kind of the finisher completer attitude, the our Kanban boards, everything getting set up. It's all down to
Yes,
she's
yes,
really implementing the the agility into what we're doing. It's just
yes,
been
yes.
amazing.
Amazing.
So yeah, thank you, Marina.
Mm.
Yeah, Kershaw, again, very much involved in the kind of the thinking around about the ambassador network. I think
Mm.
he might
Yeah.
have helped you a lot with thinking about how the world is. I know.
Yes. Oh, you remind me well. I remember when we are setting up the forms for the application forms, his inputs were really, really helpful. The emphasis on, this region might be okay with this is might not be. So we need to be open, more. It's really wonderful. It was great having him on board, having him and Simeon. They were
Yeah,
really very helpful, very, very helpful.
yeah. Kershaw's always been a bit of a strategist. So
Yes, he is. Yes,
yeah.
yes,
And
yes.
yeah, I think with the meeting time, it didn't really suit him latterly. But I remember he'd all be sitting with his lunch.
That's true.
Anurag's
Sorry,
wanting
I'm
to go
having lunch.
yeah. Anurag's trying to get to bed. Kershaw's having his lunch. Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
All right, the wonderful Miles Hopkins. Miles,
yeah.
Miles, comes with a wealth of experience of both Africa and conferences and the Business Agility Institute. He's brought great patrons in. He's really kind of helped us think about the connection and community. His prayer for peace,
Mm,
was
yeah.
really
Yeah.
really a big issue.
Mm,
Um, and again, Miles will, point out where we might be going wrong, which I
yeah. Yeah.
like. So
Yeah.
I do encourage that.
Yeah.
Other times he's got a great heart for people because coming from his HR background,
Yeah.
and but also really great on the values. He previously, I think, even during the setup here, he won that prize with the World Agility Forum, just for
Mm.
his own community work. So
Congratulations again, Mal. Congrats. Congrats.
yeah, so
Seriously.
I know Miles helped you a lot as well.
Yes. There was a time he offered to, come have a meeting with me, and we had a discussion around, that time we're still trying to reach regions we had not been able to reach, and so he talked of how he has reach around the world, and he really has a presence on LinkedIn, and he goes on LinkedIn and help post, calling people to the festival, and
Yes, yes,
yes, he did that quite a number, countless of times, and thank you, Miles. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
We love you, Miles.
We love you.
So Valentines and Valentina.
Valentina.
Yeah,
Beautiful Valentina.
yeah. Valentina did so much work setting up and organizing it. So we're a difficult bunch. I'm dyslexic, so I can have a great plan in my head, but I find it hard to articulate it. And then capturing the discussion and everything else, and acting as our scrum master, and and also working in not your first language because her first language is Russian. I think she's done an amazing job.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
I know she's grieving just now, so she's not active, but we all miss her. And
We miss her a lot. I get people giving me feedbacks on their work with Valentina and how grateful they are being. She just has this beautiful ethics around her. She's such a beautiful woman and easygoing. Yes, Valentina is really, she's a simple woman, beautiful and easygoing. It's just,
She also liked to think ahead and try and avoid
yes,
problems. So I'd always get a
yes,
message. I'd always get a message from her about stuff that might be a problem down the line, and then it would
yes,
not be a problem because we fixed it.
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, our wishes are with you, Valentina,
yes.
and we hope we see you back soon. Especially as you as yeah as much as any other trustee have pulled this festival together. So
Yeah.
um,
Really. We
thank you.
miss you. We miss you, Valentina. We miss you and we love you.
Yeah, and then Julia. So
Ah,
so I think we need to do something about Julia because I think her description there is a bit light. I think certainly I'm
yeah.
sure she's done a lot more things than that.
She has ideas spinning in her head and running, coming at like this with the speed of light. Her ideas, she's never short of ideas. She's an intelligent woman. She's well read. Yes, I know that about her, and she's beautiful and she laughs a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's just a
Um,
cheerful woman. Yes,
but
very
there's
intelligent.
so what I love about Julia is she's a plant. There's tons and tons of ideas
Yes,
coming.
yes,
She also understands marketing very well,
yes.
and she wants to put the right systems in place to make sure all that happens.
Yes.
Julia also had a tragedy, and was out for a little bit, and we all felt really really bad about that. But and really pleased when she came back, and
Yes, she did. She bounced back really well.
yeah. So one thing is, yeah, I know Julia's year has been a little bit kind of difficult, but the amount of
Yes,
effort and input she puts into the festival
you never know she's
is
going
just
through a lot.
amazing. Yeah,
Yes,
you
you
wouldn't.
never
That's the point. You wouldn't know what was going on with her,
know.
and
Yes,
so.
she's such a strong woman.
But the
Woman
other thing
spirit.
is, she all the events she's worked to get in, all the inclusion she's got to get in.
Yes,
The events for deaf people and things.
yes,
It's all about other people.
yes. It's always all about other people. She got me set up over 9 events in a day for her on the meetup, and I'm like, how possible? How do you do this? You have a family, you have kids, and much love, much love. Seriously, much love,
Yeah.
much
And
love.
again the motivation stuff, the memes, the jokes, the laughter.
Yes, lively. She sets the room up with life.
And next trustee is interesting because I asked Katie, my daughter, as a favor. I know she's at art school and she's kind of good at this stuff. To kind of do a little bit of help as an intern basis. So originally she came in as the intern and she wasn't a trustee. And well, what we quickly worked out was she was just doing as much work as any of the other trustees. And then the trustees had a discussion and made her a trustee, which is good. And I was a bit worried about nepotism, and that's Scott's daughter. So the only reason she's there is because yeah, I think my father taught me a phrase which was yeah, he once worked for a family company or something, and the son was absolutely useless. And he said to him, he said, "You're only here because your father was born before you." so
That's
so
hilarious.
so
Oh,
so there was a couple of things came out there. One was I didn't want to have any preference on on Katie, and she could get involved or she could not get involved, and it was up to her. And the next thing I know, she's in lots of meetings I'm not at. She's doing lots of stuff, and everyone keeps
yes,
telling me how great Katie is. And for any father,
yes.
that's amazing. So do you want to talk about Katie for a bit?
Katie, we've had back and forth communications with Katie. I've given her quite a number of graphic jobs to help with the ambassador network, and she's always swift. She's creative. I For her age, she has such wisdom and calmness, and she's well, like something that's well put together. She's just wonderful and great. And I must say, I'm really sorry for all the jobs. I know I kept you all night working, but I love you. I love you so much, and thank you for all the goodness and the value you've brought to the festival. It's really great. You're just a beautiful woman. The future is mighty. It's beautiful. It's awesome for you. Seriously. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Katie. Um, love you, but you know that. Speaking of people I love, Seth and I met a couple of years ago, and I used to run a meetup with Martin Burns. And Martin died, and I was in a pretty bad way. And at that time, we kind of looked at the meetup and we called it the Future of Work in Scotland. And kind of Seth came on board and was doing such a good job organising. I said, Seth, you have this. You run it. And when COVID struck, that meetup, started doing weekly things. It started, it's such a great job of helping us all through this
Wow.
charity. And
Wow.
and then Seth and I worked together for a bit, and just really comfortable with Seth. So when this came along, Seth was helping me in the background. And then I said, well, could you become an advisor? So he became an advisor. And then as it grew and grew, and we came up with ideas like the patrons and that, I realized I didn't have time to do everything. So I needed to kind of clone a little bit. And that's when I kind of gave, some of this higher profile stuff that could, very difficult to do, perhaps sometimes getting 13 patrons into a meeting and discussing it, even getting 13 patrons at the same time. But Seth did all that work, all that pre-work, all that organizing work. So
Yeah.
hugely thankful for him. The other thing I want to call out is I'm dyslexic, and I've noticed two types of people help you with dyslexia. One tell you that the stuff you've done is wrong, and the other people say, "I see what you've done there. Can I help you make it better?" And Seth's the second type.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate having someone there who doesn't make me feel small and little because my written work isn't good, and someone who takes my written work and makes it better. Great friend. The other thing is Seth and I. It was Seth's idea actually. We have a Sunday morning catch up where we kind of peer mentor each other. So every Sunday morning, actually we do it fortnightly, but every other Sunday morning, Seth reminds me how rubbish I am at things. In fact, I can tell you next week he's going to tell me this video was too long.
That is a great one. The job is done with the patrons. Is like I said to him, it's only a great man that can have such great minds in one sitting and have the peace, the decorum, and have a smooth and seamless event. He's good at doing difficult things really well and doing them excellently. And it's just great. He's wonderful. Never sleeps. I don't think he sleeps as well.
Yeah. I think he probably goes to sleep when Anurag gets up. So I think we've got 24-hour cover really. Yeah. And I think how are we doing we've got Jerome. So Jerome came in late. So I don't know if you guys know the story, but we Proposals was very, very quiet for a long time, and the circle really didn't fire because it had nothing to do.
Yeah.
And just around about the time it started spiking in activity, Jerome contacted me and said, "Can I help with the festival?" And I went, "Funny you should say that." Proposals. And so Jerome went in there, got the people that had kind of signed up but weren't that active together, held the ring on any problems or suggestions, did the liaison with the trustees, handled everything. So I think that the large part that we've got 750 events in the calendar smoothly with lots of operational support on those events is really down to that circle and the energy that Jerome brought into it. So again, we love you.
Circle. Yes, we love you, Jerome. Thank you so much. I know we get to bug you a lot with our requests, but thank you for doing them all.
So that was it. So that was the trustees, really. So it's Valentines. We've got lots of love. Wanted to do that piece. Think we'll probably give us over to Agile World, and they can cut it and use bits of it. But but thank you very much, and thank you very much, Grace.
Thank you so much. Love you. Thank you.
Now go and spend some time with your family. I've spent enough of your time.
Of course, I will. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.